If you have a service-based business and you're trying to talk to everybody, that's exactly why ain't nobody listening. Now, I know that's not what you're trying to hear because you feel like if you keep it broad and keep it vague, it feels safe. I know you're just trying to keep your options open, but that don't work. Let me tell you why. Your people can't identify that you are talking directly to them and their specific situation, need, or desire. When you show up with your copy or content, it falls on deaf ears because nobody's ears is perking up because you're not talking directly to them. I know you probably believe the myth that getting too specific about who you serve is limiting. But no, ma'am, I'm here to let you know it actually positions you for big bucks. So when I was a resume writer, I used to tell my clients all the time this analogy about a roofer. And I used to tell them, imagine you have a house and your roof is messed up. I don't know. Something's wrong with it. It has a leak. And so now you're out to find someone to fix your leaky roof. Are you going to want to hire the cheap handyman extraordinaire who does roofing, does landscaping, he dabbles in HVAC, he could fix your appliances, he could even repave your driveway? Would you want to hire that person, or would you want to hire the roofer extraordinaire, specializing in shingles and gutters, and he'll patch your leaky roof in 5 minutes flat? But he's going to be a little bit more expensive. Which one are you going to want to fix your roof? I'll wait. I know who I was going to pick. I'm picking the real roofer, the one who can explain to me what's wrong with my roof plainly, the one who positioned himself as a roofing expert. I don't want the one that dabbles all over the place because the trust is not there. And so this same analogy applies. When you are showing up, what are you talking about? How are you positioning yourself? Are you showing up as the generalist who can do all of these things? Are you speaking to everybody who could potentially, possibly in any way, shape, or form need your service? Or are you talking to your specific people? Now, if you're not sure how to talk to your people, you're going to need to figure that out. And the best way to figure that out is to literally just pay attention. When I was doing resume writing, I kept noticing the same thing coming up in my client conversations over and over and over and over again. These would be high-level executives who say, hey, I know my job, I'm excellent at what I do, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing with a job search because I've never had to really apply using this process. Back in the day, it was a totally different situation. You can walk into a place or fax your resume over or whatnot. In the more recent years, I just got referred. They would say, hey, Bill, I'm over at XYZ company now. Why don't you come over and join the team? So the clients that I got never had to job search, so they were clueless. So once I realized that, okay, you're like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th person who said this on a call, that's when it clicked. And I knew exactly who I was talking to and what they needed. Then, as I'm building Melanated, the same thing happened, just in a little bit of a different way. I started noticing that all my clients wanted to be perfect. They thought that perfect meant corporate language, corporate jargon, and they all sounded the damn same. They were all like stiff, polished, boring, just bland. And what I found was that they were bringing the same behaviors and norms that helped them to survive in corporate environments into their own business. And I called that survival branding. The fight against survival branding is my message. And the people that I'm talking to are the people who are experiencing these things. So now my core message is all about you not needing to code switch in your own business and leveraging your identity as the strategy. The point is this: your ideal client will reveal things about themselves through conversation. So all you really have to do is listen so you can identify the problems that you solve for them and position yourself as the solution. But first, you really need to get to know them on a deeper level. So if you have calls coming up or you're planning on going out and talking to your market, these are the 5 things that you're going to need to know about your ideal client so that they can pay attention to what you are saying. So these are the 5 things I want you to really know about your person so that you know exactly who you're talking to. Number 1, their goals. What are they trying to do? What they want to accomplish, right? What does success look like for them? And this is more short term. So in the next 30 days, 90 days, even maybe a year. And these goals are going to be more surface, right? So this is what you're going to be selling them. This is what they know they want, and they can say it with no issue, right? So my clients know they want better opportunities. They know they want better clients who's going to pay them top dollar, trust them, and resonate with them and their message and the way they do things. That's what they want. They know that's what they want. So that's what you're going to sell them. The next thing you want to know is their desires. So what do they actually want, right? So yes, they want the clients. Yes, they want the high paying invoices. Yes, they want the opportunities, but what are those goals going to actually do for them and their lives? This is where we dig deeper. But my clients want all those things, but they want to also feel like themselves while doing it. They want to feel free to just move and be who they are and be confident in who they are. So when they show up, they don't have to get nervous or second guess themselves. That's really what they want, because carrying the burden of constantly having to perform or self-edit is heavy. So then what are their challenges, right? So what are they actively struggling with right now? What's not working? And this is more on a practical level, right? So what have they tried that isn't working? It hasn't worked for them. And why can't they overcome the hump? Knowing what that is going to be key. Because when you know what has not worked for them that they have tried, when you know what the barriers are for them to get to their goals, that can really help you to hone in and connect with them. And then it helps you realize too that you have a different approach that will get them to where they want to be. So it helps you to differentiate yourself and realize that you're different and how you're different than anything else that they tried. The other part of this is knowing and understanding why it didn't work for them. So maybe they were solving the wrong problem. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe there was pre-work they needed to do before that. There's a plethora of reasons why the things that they have tried haven't worked. But once you know and understand that, then you can really nail down what their challenges have been. The next one you need to know is, what are they afraid of? What keeps them up at night? And we're not talking about that surface level stuff either. The real fear. So for my people, they are so deathly afraid of showing up as themselves because they feel like no one's going to take them seriously. They feel like they're going to lose out on clients if they show up real and raw as their real selves. And she's afraid that no one's going to connect or resonate with her real, true self. She's afraid of rejection. She's afraid of judgment. She's afraid of not being accepted. Once you know what they're afraid of, you can also speak to those things. And the last one is beliefs. This is a pretty big one. People all have limiting beliefs that are literally keeping them stuck like Chuck. So for example, my people believe they have to tone it down to be taken seriously. And that belief is exactly what I am here to challenge or change. This is great for if you want to shift their perspectives, which is a big part of personal branding. It's helping people to see something different, for them to buy into your thoughts. That's the thought leadership aspect. Definitely want to get clear on what your people believe about the thing that you do. Now, another way that you can also gain clarity is to come up with scenarios. I call this a 10 scenario exercise. This is just an exercise where you could tell really fast whether you actually know your person or you're still struggling to figure out who she is or he. So what I want you to do is write down 10 situations that your ideal client is living in right now that you can help with. I'm going to give you a quick example. So maybe your clients are executives and they just got laid off and they have no idea how to job search because they've never had to. That is a specific scenario and a problem that they're facing right now that you can help them with. Now, if you can easily get to 10, then you know your person, you're good. But if you're struggling a little bit to get past 4 or 5, you may need to do more research and have more conversations with your people. So how do you get this information? Like I said, you got to talk to people, do discovery calls, put out surveys, just message people, literally just ask. When you're networking, just ask some of these things. And when they answer, take note of the words they use. Don't try to reinterpret what they mean. Try to use their exact language. Use the phrases they use, the way they describe their problem. And that's going to end up being your content. That's going to be your copy for your website. That's going to be your messaging. That's how I come to learn my audience. Just literally listening enough so that I can see the patterns. And once you've done all of this and you figured out who your client is and you're clear on all the things that make them tick and you have your 10 scenarios, once you've done all this, give this person a name. My ideal client avatar's name is Naya Lawson. And every single time that I doubt or wonder, should I create this? Should I put this out? I say, would Naya care about this? Does Naya want this? Does Naya need this? Will Naya resonate with this? And if any of them are a no, then it's a no. We're not going to put it out. We're going to tweak it so that Naya cares, because that's specifically who you are talking to. Now, will you find variants of your person? Absolutely. I have variants of Naya, and that's kind of where the 10 scenarios come into play. Some of them are in a little bit of a different place, in a different situation. Of course, we've all had different life experiences. And that's what I mean when I say you're not necessarily isolating all these other people, but you want to focus on this group, and you'll still get some outliers and some variants to come into your space. So it's okay. So listen, if this was helpful, the next step is to now take everything you know about your ideal client and weave it into your content. So that way your client recognizes that you're talking to her or him, pays attention, and takes action. If you need help with getting clear on your personal brand and who you're speaking to, that's definitely one of the things that we talk about in your digital brand audit. The link is in this description, so go ahead and grab that. It's a very quick intake form, and then you book a call. I do the work on the back end, and then when we meet, I go through your entire digital brand presence. I tell you what's working, I tell you what's not, and I give you the plan on what to focus on moving forward so you can build an authentic personal brand that is rooted in who you are. So grab that, and I'll see you in the next video.